Hello everyone. Let's discuss something about understanding ourselves, which is actually the personality part of ours. The exact definition of personality can be seen as something which is a characteristic pattern of behaviors or thinking which a person may acquire so as to adjust in his own environment. This is as given by Hildegard. Then there is another very well known definition of personality which is by Alpert, and Alpert says personality is the dynamic organization within the individual of those psychophysical systems that determine his unique adjustment to his environment. Now let's understand what are the determinants of personality. That means how a person becomes the way he is, how is a personality developed. So there are two major determinants of personality. One is heredity, that is getting the genes from one's parents. So a person is a little similar to his parents in terms of his characteristics. Then there are another group of factors which can be termed as environment. Now this environment will include the family, the schooling, the entire upbringing, society, culture, education, friends, everything which surrounds the individual and actually has an impact upon the personality of the individual. So these are the two major determinants. Some characteristics a person is born with, and then some of the characteristics which he develops as he grows up in a given environment. Now there are certain theories which describe personality. One is the type theory and the another one is trait theory. However, there are many other theories, but here we will just basically stick to the two basic ones, which are the ones which were given when the theorizing on personality actually started off. So the type theory actually what it does is it divides the people into groups and says that so and so group is a particular type of personality. Now this grouping, this categorizing can be done on different bases. The first one was done by Sheldon. This was on the basis of the body structure of the individual, the body type. So he divided people into three different groups. One which was known as endomorphic, then next which was known as mesomorphic, and the third one which was known as ectomorphic. Endomorphic personalities were those personalities who had a body type which was plump and fat and chubby. So those people who were of this personality type were supposed, with this body type, were supposed to be people who are happy-go-lucky, and they are quite happy to be the way they are, and they were a little relaxed and not too I would say we can't say careless, but then relaxed as the things are. And then next one is or rather if we can compare it with ectomorphic. These were the personality types where the body type was thin, but the people were the ones who were quite so as to say serious and competitive, and they will actually take things to heart a lot, those kind of personality traits. And mesomorphic is a body type which was athletic in its build, muscular in its build, and again the personality type was somewhere in between these two types, the ones which we discussed before, endomorphic and ectomorphic. So there were three different personality types. Now if the personalities were divided on the basis of psychological factors, Then there were certain categories like introvert and extrovert personalities, or type A and type B personalities, or judging and perceptive personalities. So here you can see that the personalities were divided into two categories which were very different from each other based upon one particular dimension. So let's take one by one each of them. Introverts and extroverts, these were the personality traits where in introvert a person would be much into himself, not interact much with others, will be comfortable with himself. That is what we know. So here we have given the characteristics of introverts and the characteristics of extroverts. Introverts were the ones who would be quiet and careful with details. Then they were not much comfortable with names and faces, and before they take any action they would like to think a lot, and they can continue working on a project for a longer period of time. Whereas on the other side you have extroverts who like variety of actions, and they would like to work faster, they would like to mix with people and talk to people. They might be at times impulsive and take actions without much of thinking, and might also become impatient if they have to work for longer period of time on a particular project. Now type A and type B personality, again these are two very different types of personalities which are categorized on the basis of a psychological trait. Personality A types are those who are very particular about everything. They want to be the best in whatever they do. They would like to do as many things as possible. So you will see them kind of always competing, trying to be the best and work harder. Whereas on the other side there are type B personality people, or a personality type where you will find that the people are quite relaxed and they take things as they come and don't bother much. They are quite comfortable with their let's say off time from work. If they have taken an off, they would chill out rather than actually be worried that they should have been working and maybe somebody else will work better than them, so they have to keep working. Nothing of that sort. They take things as the things come. So in fact there is we say that type A personality are the ones for whom everything matters. बहुत फर्क पैंदा for everything. Whereas type B, they are kind of की फर्क पैंदा सब हो जाएगा. That kind of a personality type. Now judging type versus perceptive type, this is also one of the category which you will find in MBIT. So judging are the ones who have to be very clear. Things have to be like in black and white. So they have to be a very well laid out plan which they can clearly follow, and things have to be settled. They have to understand things very clearly. Whereas on the other side, perceptive type people are the ones who can adapt to the changing situations. They don't have to take things when they settle down and then they will work. They can work without a clear cut plan. When things are not clear, a little dicey, changing, or there are many things going on at the same time, still they can handle. Judging types cannot handle if there are so many things going on at the same time, but perceptive type can do. So this is what type theory says. According to type theory of personality, people are of different types, different categories. However, as we can understand that the type theory has its limitation, because there are so many people which cannot be categorized into such simple categories, binary categories. So there will be some people who cannot fit into these airtight compartments. So there was another theory which was given, and this was known as trait theory. And in this, rather than making categories into which people were divided, what they did was to describe a personality in terms of traits. So to describe a person, you will use certain set of adjectives, and based upon that adjective or those set of adjectives, it becomes easy to understand the personality of a person. Now this theory was given by Cattell, and he talked about two different kinds of traits, the primary traits and the secondary traits. So the primary traits are those traits which are central to the personality of a person. The moment you think of that person, that trait comes to your mind. For example, if you know a person who is very friendly, so the moment his name is taken, you will recall the first adjective about him is friendliness. This is like, the moment you take the name of Mahatma Gandhi, you talk of ahimsa or non-violence. So the trait which is kind of synonym for that person, that's the primary trait. But that is not the only trait in a person. There are several other traits, and they are known as secondary traits for an individual. Now these are the 16 personality traits given by Cattell, which are generally there in an individual, and an individual can be defined by these traits. And one thing which we have to understand is that a trait which is primary trait for one person may be the secondary trait for the other person. For example, let's say a person who is outgoing in nature. So if this is his primary trait, that means the moment you think of that person, he is outgoing comes to your mind. But he may have other traits also. For example, he might be more intelligent, or he might be more venturesome, or he might be more sensitive. So these will become his secondary traits. But for some other person, it may happen that he is very, very sensitive. So anybody who knows him knows very clearly that this is the most dominant trait about him. So this sensitivity becomes his primary trait, but at the same time he might be also outgoing, he might also be intelligent, he might also be venturesome. So these will be secondary trait for that person. Now these are some examples of personality traits like locus of control, messianism, self-esteem, self-monitoring, and risk-taking. Most of them are self-explanatory. Let's talk about locus of control. Locus of control is a belief of a person that whatever happens to him happens because of things under his control or because of things outside his control. So if a person believes that whatever happens to him happens because of things which are under his control, then it is known as internal locus of control. And if a person believes that whatever happens to him happens because of things outside his control, then this is known as external locus of control. I just want to emphasize that it is a belief system. A person may believe that whatever is happening to him is happening because things are not under his control. Okay. Then comes Machiavellianism. Now this trait is based upon the name of a prince, where he would like to get the results which he wants by any means, by hook or by crook. So this trait also means that a person may like to justify the end result and the means together. That means if the end is good, then any means can be used. If you have to get something, you have to get it by whatever means. That is what Machiavellianism is. Self-esteem is about self-respect, and self-monitoring is being able to view yourself, whether you are doing the right thing or the wrong thing, and having some control over it. And then risk-taking is, in any case, you can understand, self-explanatory. Then this is Big Five model. It talks about 5 major traits which are very relevant for an organization. These 5 traits are extraversion, agreeableness, conscientiousness, emotional stability, and openness to experience. These traits will be important for organizations to understand their employees, and while an employee is working for an organization, these traits come quite handy and are relevant, and these will be discussed in another presentation. Thank you so very much.